Hey everybody, welcome to Frannie's Hair and to my bathroom again. You know what that means. I'm going to be using some heat tools. I apologize if the picture is not as good. I'm actually on my phone instead of my camera. I had some issues with it, but I really did want to get this out to you. Now, in the beginning of my wig journey, I was really afraid to take heat tools to wigs, even to heat-friendly wigs, mainly because I don't know how to style well. I was never good with my own hair. Ask my sisters, I was never good with their hair. But along the wig journey, you do have face floppers or box hair, and it's really good to learn how to use the tools to get the results you want. And once you do, it will change your wig journey. Once you have the confidence that you can change things up, it's amazing. If I can do it, trust me, you can do it. So today on 2 heat-friendly wigs, I'm going to be fixing face floppers. This is one of them. She's done already, but I'll take you through the process where I fixed her. I'm also going to show you how to use the Renee of Paris hot tool, which they recommend using on their non-heat-friendly wigs, but only for the Adorance brands. Noriko, Renee of Paris, Amour, and Alexandra Couture. But I'm going to show you this time how you can curl with that tool. Last time I showed you could straighten with it, and I really didn't know if you could curl with it. I reached out to the designer and said, I can't curl with it. Is there a way to do it? And he said, there sure is, and I'm going to show you how. And he spent an hour with me, which was wonderful, teaching me how to do it. So I'm going to show you how to do it. It's pretty amazing. Then I did something you're not supposed to do. And I used that hot tool on a non-Adorance, non-heat-friendly wig just to see what would happen. So you're going to see the results of that. Now, I'm not recommending that you use this heat tool on non-Adorance brands. If you do that, of course, the consequences are yours. But I figured I'd try it out and just see what happens. And I wanted to show you. All right, so let's get started. Box hair, face floppers. If you're on the wig journey long enough, it'll happen to you. No need to worry. That's what we're going to work on today. This is Bellissima in Butterbeer Blonde. That's a lot of B's. And she has some box hair or face flopping happening. What I want to do is I want to get this off my face like that. And see, she keeps wanting to come down. And this piece here to me is a little bit straight in comparison to the rest of the style. So I'm going to fix it. I have my canvas blockhead here and some clips and my tools. So let's get started. Okay, so the first thing I do is I put the wig on my canvas blockhead and I pin into the ear tabs, which I'm going to show you now. All right, so I have my T-pins, which are impossible to pick up with these nails. I have these T-pins that I had since my crocheting days. I don't know if you can see that there, maybe better without my hand. And all I do is I put them in the ear tab. I don't want to go near the lace with the pins. So here's one ear tab. Let me just make sure my ear tabs are on evenly here. There we go. And I'm just going to put the pin through the ear tab, not through the metal, just to hold her on there. I'll go to the other side. Through the ear tab. There we go. And that's good enough. That'll hold her on while I work. Now you can see right here is the face flopper. So what I want to do is I want to redirect these so that they are going back in this direction rather than wanting to fall forward. I like to have a little bit of a swoop. So the first thing I'm going to try is my hair dryer. Now this is a heat-friendly wig, so I can use heat on her. So, and I really don't want to change the curl or the lack of curl by using a curling iron or even a flat iron, because when I flat iron, my ends tend to get straight. There are ways of doing it better. I'm not the best at it. So for this, I'm going to use the hair dryer. I'm going to put it on the highest heat on my hair dryer. Again, she's heat friendly, and the lowest fan. And just wait till it heats up. Now I'm going to avoid putting this directly on the lace. And I'm going to try to hit the fibers right where they're coming out of the lace. And get that nice and hot. I want them to start to go back that direction. Okay, now they're nice and warm, but you have to let them cool that way. So you could just stick a clip that holds it back while it's cooling. I'm going to try the next piece here too. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing there. And I'm not doing it directly on the lace, I'm doing it on the fibers. And then I'm just going to let it cool right there. And it's still warm to the touch. It takes a little bit to cool. Then when it's done cooling, I'm going to try her back on and see how she is and if I need to do some more work. The other thing you can do is my hairdryer has a cool shot, so I can use that afterward to help it cool off. And to set it in place. Okay, she's feeling pretty cool. So I'm going to take this out. And it looks like she's trained to go back more, but we'll try her on and see. Okay, you can see that really helped on this side to keep this side down. I didn't do this side yet, so I'm going to do that next and show you that. But that's literally all I do with a face flopper is use the hair dryer right at the root. All right, so I'm going to do this side for you now. So I'm going to put it on its highest heat again. Let me stand to the side here. And low fan and just hit it right at the roots there. Again, I'm avoiding actually hitting the lace. I'm hitting it right there. And I'm just going to add it to this clip that's been cooling the other piece there and let it cool. All right, so what I'm going to do to curl the bottom of this piece is use my Tressalure Cool Flow Dual Styler tool. And this has a flat iron and a curling iron. So I'm going to plug this in and heat it up to the lowest setting, which is 280 degrees. So I'll be right back. So you can see, even though this front piece here is staying back the way I wanted it to, this piece is just hanging straight while the others are curving in. So I just want to get that little bit of curve to that piece. Now, this is heated up. It does have a fan that cools. I don't usually use the fan, especially if I'm on camera, so I turn that off. But it's supposed to cool your curl as you go. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to spray this with a little bit of water, which they recommend you do water or a thermal heat spray. Most times I use just water. It protects the fibers, and I'm gonna just kind of slightly curl it under. Now I am not a hairstylist by any stretch, you guys know me, but I just try to get the, oh, I might have just straightened that more than curled it. Now look, I made too much of a bend there. So I'm going to give it another try. That's the beauty of a heat-friendly wig. If you don't get it the way you like it, try again. And I think that's so important to see. So many times you don't see that. You just see the perfect outcome. There we go. That curves in the way I would like it to. And you don't see that. People do try over and over again. I'm not professional. I'm sure a professional hairstylist doesn't have to try as much as I have to try. But you just do what you have to do. And there you go. So I have that curve now coming down. Also here, I'm noticing a few of the fibers still want to fall forward a little. I'm going to hit it with a little bit of heat going in the backward direction, in the direction I want it to go. So I'm just going to take these just right at the root, nothing to do with the ends. I'm going to spritz it right at the root there. And I'm just going to put my flat iron on and have it go back. Like that. And it's hot there, so I'm going to let it cool. I'll just put my little clip in. And we'll wait. And you'll hear the sizzle when you're using heat with the water, but that's just the water and it's protecting it. Look at that, see? Now it's really going to stay back. So that's another thing you can do, is just use the heat from your flat iron right at the roots, and that should hold it back as well. Really nice. I might even do a little of that right here. Let's try it again. And those of you that are hairdressers, I would love to hear some tips from you. So feel free to comment. Just let it cool. Right at the root there. I try not to get to the ends with the heat because I don't want to mess up the way the ends look. And also, I don't want to yank on the lace here at the front. All right, I'm going to let it cool and put her back on. Oh, much better. Look at this. Much, much better. Now, I still have one little piece here. I can't figure out where that's coming from. I'll have to work on that. But look at this. And now, that piece isn't coming right down. So you see how easy that was. I'm really just using heat right at the root and just letting it cool there until it's going the way I want it to. Okay, meat straight up with a twist in shaded wheat. This one has a little bit more of a problem here. What I would say is, first of all, I want this piece probably going more over to the other side that way. You can see I got a face flop here. And this is actually not an uncommon thing with straight up with a twist for whatever reason. I don't know if it's the cut or the way it travels, but I've seen quite a few face floppers. And so I figured it's about time to show you guys how to take care of it so you do not have to worry. It's a pretty wig though, right? And this is the Elite version, so it has a hand-tied cap. So what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to have this lifted and this lifted here so that I get more of it staying back. I do kind of like the feathered look there that you have. So somehow I want to have the lift, a little bit of the feather, and I think that'll be really pretty actually. All right, so I'm going to get started. I'm going to put her on the head and we'll get going. Okay, now Bellissima, for whatever reason, did not have the factory part. This one does, so I'm going to want to make my part first so that I know which hairs I want to go which directions. So I'm just going to use my rat tail comb here and part the hair the way I'd like it to go. And I'm a left part girl, so which would be on the right side when I'm facing it, in case this is getting confusing. Yeah, okay. So there we go. That's a part that I would like right there. I don't know if you can see that, like that. But, and you can do it while it's on your head too and pin it. All right, so what I'm gonna want is I wanna get these fibers going back because they're falling in my face. So I'm gonna just pin back the one side because I'm gonna work on one side at a time. There we go. And I'm gonna work with these first. Now, when I use the hairdryer, and whenever I use the hairdryer, I don't usually spritz with water, but I'm going to do an experiment and try that and see if that does anything also. So right at the root, I'm going to spritz it. I'm going to turn my hairdryer to high heat, low fan, and just hit it with the heat there. Not hitting the lace. I'm hitting the roots of the fibers. I hope you can see this. Heating them up the direction I want them to go. Yeah, and they're warm, definitely. And I'm just going to clip it back to let it dry in that direction. Now, is this falling too far forward? You know, I like that little feather thing, but I think I'm going to also try to get some of these here. These look like they're really falling forward, so I'm just going to clip this over here and get these as well. Yeah, especially back there. Where's my comb? Here it is. Spritz it. It's hard for me to tell how much you can see. Can you see better this way? I want to retrain the fibers to go back rather than forward. And when I have my fingers here, I can feel how warm the hairdryer is getting, so that's pretty warm. So I'm going to pin that there. And I think that's all I'm going to do on that side because I really still want that shape. Now, I'm going to move this over. It's been cooling, but I'll just leave it. And I'm going to start working on this side here because this definitely falls in the face. So I'm going to use these front ones again. And since I'm not doing anything to the ends, I'm only going to use the hairdryer. I use the other tools when I want to curl the ends or straighten the ends, something like that. It'll be interesting to see if the water makes a difference. Although we got a good result on Bellissima. Do I want to get that piece under there? Let me look at it. Yeah, I think this piece definitely falls forward, so I'm going to get that piece as well. Back. We'll just let it cool. Now both of these are heat-friendly wigs. So I know you get box hair too in regular synthetics. I'm sorry if this is crooked, it's my ring light. I know you get box hair also in regular synthetic wigs, and so I am going to do some videos of that as well. This piece is still cooling. Hit it with a shot of cool air. All right, let's see how this is looking. Still falling in the face, I would say. This hair does not want to go to that side like I want it to, but I am not giving up. All right, here we go. You're going to that side, baby. whether you like it or not. This time I'm going to train it that direction instead of straight back. And I'm also kind of pushing the fibers that direction. Doesn't even feel that warm yet. Let me do this piece back to this side so I get my part the way I want it, because there's my part. And you see, it's trial and error. So just take your time. Keep thinking about the result you want to get. I have these parted on each side of my part the way I want it. And I'm going to spritz it with some cool air. Ah, you see, don't give up. I told her who's boss. So now I see here that this is the piece that I left because I still wanted that wave, but I may want to train that back as well. Get a little bit more lift there. So I'm going to do that. Let me just get this here. And it's really, like I said, trial and error, keep going. And just get the style you're looking for. Yeah, I'm going to get this just off of my face. Amazing, takes a little bit of time till it heats up. I have to say, when I first started, I was afraid to touch the wigs and afraid that I would mess up. With the heat friendly, I'm not so afraid anymore because I know I can keep working on it till I like it. So that's just a matter of getting comfortable with what you're doing. And really, even with the non-heat friendly, there's so many things you can do. So I think I'm going to take all of these back here. Who knows what I'm doing to her style here? We'll find out. Like I said, I'm not a great hairstylist. Not even that warm yet. I think when I put the water on it, it doesn't get warm as quickly. And if you have some great tips for fixing box hair, you know, put them in the comments below. We're all looking to learn from one another. I certainly don't have all the answers. I just show you what I learn over time. And hopefully we can learn together. Okay, it feels cooler. Looks better already. Let's see how she looks on. Okay, here she is on. Definitely better. You can see. Doesn't have that face flopper anymore. And I think, oh wait, did I just see a piece? Yep, saw a piece here. I'm gonna have to work, oh no, she goes to the other side. Let's see if she falls down. No, good. So you can see, I look at the style now and I see, well, I have more lift here. Maybe I want to get more lift here. And this I would even do on my head. So I'm going to show you doing this on my head because now I can see and I want it to, you know, even up. But at least I don't have that thing falling in my face. All right, so now on my head, I know that this is the piece. I think I'm liking the water with it. Not positive yet that I like it better, but we'll see. But I know the result that I'm after now, this much is what I want to go back. still a little wet. That's why I'm using more heat. I want it to dry. And I'll just put it back in the clip. And I'll hit it with cool air. I really do like this, how this goes. Especially now that it's off my face. I think that's pretty. See if this is any better. Yep, look at that. See, I think it looks better with both sides going like that. It was funny with one down and one up. All right, so that's it. That's all I do. Now say I wanted more of this going back. I don't think I do though. I think I don't know, maybe a little bit right here. Yeah, let's try to make this go back just a little bit more. And this is really what I do. I look at it and I say, oh, you know, what do I want it to look like? Now, do I want any of this to go back? I don't think so. We'll see. We'll see when I let this out. Let's hit it with some cool air. So you can see this one was a much tougher case than the Bellissima. Bellissima fell right into line. It was just a few little pieces of face flopping. This one was a swath. A swath of face flopping. Okay, so now you can see I got the part the way I want it. I have that huge swath of face flop off of my face. And you know, I may change up the style a little bit over here. I'm actually really liking this. But you see how easy it is. Just use your hair dryer and do it piece by piece. And if something's not working out the way you want it to, just redo it. Okay, so now I have a sample wig that Adoran sent me. This is non-heat friendly. I tested it somewhere back here with heat and it fried right up. I don't know where it was. So I know that it's not heat friendly. I don't know what happened to that. But I wanted to show you a few things. So when you have Permatease and you can see it on this side, all I do is take a wire wig brush and I kind of work in that area, being careful. I don't want to, you know, tear the fibers, but the wire brush really gets in there. And you can see, look at that, so much better. So, you know, there are things you can do if the wig is not looking exactly the way you want it to. And sometimes, for whatever reason, you can see Permatease on the other side. Sometimes you can't. But when I can, I get out my wire brush and I kind of work right in the root there to kind of get some lift in the fibers. And you can see it looks so much better already. Now, the thing I wanted to show you is I took a lesson with Alexander, who is the designer at Adoran's, and I said, I use this to straighten, but can you use it to curl? And he said, yes, and I'm gonna show you how, and I couldn't believe it, it actually worked. So, he uses this Revive spray. It's a liquid enhancement, is what it says. And what he does is, let me just pin this in so that I can work on her. I'm just gonna pin her in the ear tabs. I'm not so concerned about her. She's a sample wig, so I'm not worried about anything happening to her. Shh, don't tell her that. Okay, so say I want to curl this piece of hair here. Let me just separate it. Now the smaller the piece, the more of a curl. All right, so, and I'll show you that. So I'm just gonna pin this back to get it out of the way. Okay, so let's say I want to curl this piece. What I do is I spray it with this Revive, like that. And the key is to take this through slowly, wrap, and he comes through slowly. At first I couldn't get it, and he says more slowly than that. So, and look at that. You get a curl. Is that amazing? A nice bouncy curl. So the bigger the section, the less the curl. But I'll take a bigger section this time. And also, the speedier you go through the hair, the less the curl. So let's just take a bigger section here. I don't know if you can see that curl, but look at that. That's a curl. I would have never guessed you could get that with that. Okay, I'm learning so much. This is like playing on doll hair. When I was young, I wanted to be a hairdresser. I'm sure you guys have heard that my sister suffered with that. But, you know, now I get to play with hair all the time. How much fun is this? Okay, so I'm going to spritz it. First, I'm going to take it through more quickly so you can see. Let me just, that it's much less of a, it's even just a little wave there. Now I'll take it through more slowly, but it's still a bigger piece of hair, so it won't be as curly. Now I'm going to go slowly, wrapping. You see how I wrap, and I'm turning my wrist as I go, keeping it wrapped. That was the hardest movement for me. And there you see it. You have a curl, but it's not quite as curly as that first piece. So it's really how much hair you section off and how quickly you work through it. Now I'm going to do a small section again, just so you can see the movement again. I'll do a small section slowly. So you can see, because when I was taking the lesson, he was like, slower, slower. I was like, really? Okay. And you see I'm twisting with my wrist here. And that was the hardest part for me. Look at that. That is amazing. Who would have thought you could get curls from this? I don't know what kind of style I'm making here, but all right, now I'm going to take a smaller section and go more quickly, so you'll see that if you go more quickly, you are not going to get, even using a small section, as much curl as I got. And you can practice curling all different directions. I'm just doing one there. So you see, that's less of a curl because I went quicker. It's more of a wave. Hopefully you can see all these different curls. Pretty amazing, right? So that's the Renee of Paris hot tool. You can straighten and you can curl with it. Okay, so now this is a non-heat friendly wig. This is Merit by Estetica, and she does have a face flopper here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to use that Renee of Paris tool that they tell you not to use on any other brands. And I told you guys I was going to test it on non-Adirond's brands just to see what happens. I am not recommending that you do the same thing. I'm just doing a test to see what happens. And if you decide to try these things, of course, it's at your own risk. But I always like to try them on my wigs first, and we can figure out what happens. But anyway, this is Merit. You can see this one piece here wants to flop in my face. I usually just do this and spray her back because she's not heat friendly, but I'm gonna try using a little bit of heat. Okay, it looks like it heated up. I'm wearing the Straight Up with a Twist Elite that I just worked on. And what I'm gonna do is, this is the piece here that's flopping. You can see very clearly that that piece falls forward. And I'm careful not to break any of the hairs. I'm going to spritz her with this Revive. And I'm going to try combing her back just like that. Oops, I forgot to pin her down. Wow, that looks like it's working. I'm going to try it with this side too, see what happens. And I make sure I have the strands of hair running through the heat. Looks like it's working. I can't see any damage to these fibers. I don't know if these are the same fibers that Adirond's makes their non-heat friendly wigs from, but he was specific to say that it works on their particular fibers. So that's why I'm not telling you to try this on your fibers. I'm just trying it for all of us. These are still wet here, so I'm just going to, there we go. I don't want these back ones, just the front ones. And I'll get these too. Smells nice, whatever this Revive is. It smells good. Okay. Let's see what happens when I put it on my head. Okay. There is no doubt that that worked. Look at that. Look at that swoop I got. I don't know if you want that big a swoop, but if you do, you can get it. That's amazing. Anyway, I can't recommend that you use this on your non-heat friendly wigs that are not Adirond's. All of your Adirond's non-heat friendly wigs you can use this tool on. Okay, so I hope you found all of that helpful. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below. Also, don't forget our private Facebook group, Frannie's Hair, where we have wig experts, over 3,400 members sharing tips, tricks, showing pictures of themselves in all different wigs, all different colors. It's a great group. I hope you'll come join us if you haven't already. Also, don't forget, there's still some tickets left for my live in-person event at the Aesthetica Design Showroom on August 16th at 6 p.m. The spots are filling up, but there still are a few tickets left. And if you can make it, I'd love to have you there. I'll just give you some highlights. You'll get to try on the Aesthetica wigs and figure out which wigs work for you. My team's going to be there to help you. Marlene, who is running our Facebook group, and you probably know her from Marlene's Wig and Chat Studio. She's awesome. She's flying in. Then we have V, my resident stylist, who will be flying in and giving you tips and tricks on styling. Part of the Aesthetica team is going to be there, including the designer herself, so you'll get to meet her and talk to her about her wigs. And then, of course, we're going to have snacks and wine and the professional photo shoot room open. Raffles. We're going to be raffling off a wig. Everybody coming is going to be getting a goodie bag, and if all that weren't enough, there's going to be a discount of 35% off of all wig purchases and 10% off of wig care products. So if you can join us, come join us. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'll have a link in the description below to where you can buy a ticket, or you can just head over to frannieshair.com and purchase the ticket over there, and it's called the Showroom Soiree, so you can put that in the search bar. All right, as always, thank you so much for joining me. I truly appreciate it. Remember to make it your own, and I'll see you soon.